Hello and welcome to another video here at AV Forums. I'm Steve Withers and I've been a professional calibrator and a reviewer for nearly a decade, and I'm fully qualified and certified by both the ISF and by THX. And in this video I'm going to take you through my recommended picture settings for the Sony KD-55XE8596 4K LED LCD TV. I should stress that these settings are based upon the sample that I reviewed. They may not be applicable to your particular sample, but most of them are fairly general and therefore should be applicable and are certainly worth trying and see what you think. So let's start by pressing the action menu on the remote control, and we'll go down to picture. And then we're going to show you a number of different settings. I'm going to show you a nighttime setting, a daytime setting, a game setting, and also I'm going to show you a movie and game HDR settings as well. So we'll start with the nighttime setting. And for that, I'm using the Cinema Pro picture mode. This is the most accurate picture mode. So basically for sort of really critical viewing, I'd always recommend using this one. There's no backdoor processing going on here. So this is the one I'd pick. So this is the nighttime setting, Cinema Pro, auto picture mode off. We'll come back to brightness and color in a minute. Light sensor off, and then go into advanced settings. And under here you can see brightness. We're using a brightness. Now brightness means the brightness of the TV, the backlight effectively. And we're setting it at 5, reasonably bright TV. 5 will give you 120 nit, which is more than bright enough for viewing in an evening in a room with minimal ambient light. So brightness of 5, contrast at 90, it's the point at which it doesn't clip. Gamma gives it -2, which gives us 2.4 gamma for our nighttime setting. Black level, which on most TVs is actually called brightness, that set its default setting of 50. Black adjust off and advanced contrast enhancer off. Under color, we actually had to set the color a little bit higher, so 53, as opposed to its default setting of 50. Hue you leave at 0, and we're using the Expert 1 color temperature, and down here you can actually set the red gain, which we left at maximum, green gain at -5, and blue gain at -10, and that gave us a very accurate grayscale. Under clarity, we've got sharpness at its default setting of 50. We've turned reality creation off, but feel free to experiment with it if you want to. Random noise reduction off. Digital noise reduction off, and we've left smooth gradation set to low. Under motion, we're using True Cinema for film-based content and TV dramas. Feel free again to experiment with it for things like watching sport, and we've got film mode set to low. So those are our settings for nighttime setting. So I'm going to go back to the top, and now we'll select Cinema Home. As you can see, it's just got brighter, which is the whole point. Daytime setting, brighter, still accurate but brighter, for watching TV in a room with ambient light, with more ambient light, so daylight basically. Again, auto picture mode off, light sensor off, and under advanced settings this time you can see the brightness is higher now, it's set to 20. Again, that gave you a nice bright image for watching during the day. Contrast at 90 again. Gamma this time is 0, which gives us a gamma of 2.2, which is our chosen gamma for a daytime setting. Black level still at 50. Black adjust off and advanced contrast enhancer off. Under color, this time we're using a color of 52 for the daytime setting. Hue still 0, expert 1, and this time you can see we've got max for red gain, -5 for green gain, and -9 for blue gain. Under clarity, again sharpness at 50, reality creation off, random noise reduction off, digital noise reduction off, and smooth gradation low. And then under motion, again True Cinema for film-based content and TV dramas, but feel free to experiment with things like sport, and film mode low. So that's our daytime setting. We'll go back up to the top, picture mode, and now we'll go down and select game. There we go. Again, auto picture mode off, brightness and color will come back to, and select light sensor off. And under advanced settings, so brightness, so basically the same setting as a daytime setting. Brightness of 20, contrast 90, gamma 0, black level 50, black adjust off, and advanced contrast enhancer off. Under color, we've got color 52, hue 0, expert 1 again, and this time, again, it's the same as the daytime setting, so max -4 and -9. Under clarity, sharpness is at 50, reality creation off, and smooth gradation off. Basically, the idea behind the game mode is to try and bypass any processing to keep the lag as low as possible. And so for that reason, I'd leave motion flow off, because that does definitely add to the lag. So leave that off. So that's our nighttime, daytime and game mode settings. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch the input to HDR and I'll show you some HDR settings. Okay, now we're sending an HDR signal. As you can see, it's quite a bit brighter. We'll go back into the action menu, down to picture, and now you can see it says HDR in the top right hand corner. So we're using Cinema Pro as our HDR mode. So actually most things are exactly the same. The big difference is basically when it detects an HDR signal, it goes into the maximum brightness setting. You can see there, brightness at maximum. Otherwise though, everything is the same. Contrast is still at 90, but gamma is now at 0 because it's tracking the PQEOTF and not 2.4. So that's now at 0. It will default to that when it detects an HDR signal. Black level at 50, black adjust off, and advanced contrast enhancer off. And then color still at 53, hue at 0. The expert one control settings are the same as before, and that gave us actually a very accurate grayscale in HDR. And then sharpness again is at 50, reality creation off, graphic noise reduction off, digital reduction off, and smooth gradation at low. And motion still using True Cinema for film-based content, and film mode is low. And then very similar story for the game mode for when you're gaming in HDR. As you can see, brightness is at maximum again, but everything else is basically the same. So brightness at max, but contrast at 90, gamma again at 0 of course, black level 50, black adjust off, advanced contrast enhancer off, color at 52 again, hue at 0, same color, temperature, expert 1 settings as before, again giving us a nice accurate grayscale for HDR content, and then sharpness at 50, reality creation off, smooth gradation off, and motion flow off to keep our input lag as low as possible. And there you have it. Those are our settings for the Sony KD-55XE8596. The settings for daytime, nighttime, game, HDR movies and HDR gaming. Hopefully you found this video useful, and if you have, then please like and subscribe. And don't forget that you can find more news, reviews, articles and videos like this at avforums.com, Europe's largest home entertainment community. Thanks for watching.